last night, the St. Louis Blues pulled off a big trade. Now, one of the team's most popular players is heading to Toronto. Corey Miller joins us with a closer look at the Ryan O'Reilly trade. Now, Corey, this wasn't really a huge surprise for Blues fans, but it has to be a tough pill to swallow. Not a huge surprise. After the Blues sent Vladimir Tarasenko to New York 9 days ago, you kind of saw this was coming, that the team was going to end up being sellers. And last night, they shipped off their biggest name on the trade block, Captain Ryan O'Reilly. O'Reilly and forward Noel Acciari head to Toronto for 2 forwards and 3 draft picks, including a first-rounder later this year. Of course, the captain was one of the most popular Blues players in town during his tenure and won over St. Louis with that toothless grin and tireless work ethic. And sending O'Reilly to the Maple Leafs was a tough reality for the men in charge.
You know, we kind of put ourselves in this situation, and which is unfortunate, and things happen because of it. It wasn't a fun night for sure for anybody.
It was a very difficult call for me because, as I said, they took me on a hell of a ride, and he took me on a hell of a ride, and I enjoyed every second of it. And but in this business, this is the business I chose to be in, where difficult decisions have to be made.
Of course, the reason for all these moves is the team's current place in the standings, still on the outside looking into the playoff picture. There's still some time that they could pull off a miracle and get it in, but like I said, it'll take a miracle, and this was the time to start trading away some of those more valuable pending free agents. And like he said, you know, it's business, and it's a tough decisions you have to make sometimes. I think most of the fans understand as well. Yeah, that's true. Corey, thanks so much for that.
This is brought to you by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer, 10 years running.
Coolest thing I've ever done. I can't believe the support from this crowd, the people here. That's how you want it. It's not just the guys that laced them up and the staff, like it's every single person in the city that just kept sticking with us.
That's how St. Louis fans should remember Ryan O'Reilly's tenure in St. Louis. Without him, our town still doesn't have a Stanley Cup. They should also remember him like this. This was yesterday, the day he got traded. Ryan O'Reilly was out on the ice fulfilling a kid's make-a-wish dream. O'Reilly's next game will be as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Here's the full trade details. The Blues sent O'Reilly and forward Noel Acciari to Toronto, get forwards Mikhail Abramov and Adam Guadet back, along with a haul of picks, including a first-rounder for this year. With the team still looking up in the standings, it became selling season, to the disappointment of everybody involved.
Morale right now, I'm sure from veteran players, is disappointment. The morale right now from ownership is disappointment. The morale right now from the general manager is disappointment. You don't want to be here. This isn't something that you start the season and say, I hope I get to the trade deadline and we're really bad so we get draft picks. Like that's not how any of us are wound. That is the reality of where we're at.
The Blues did have a game today also, by the way. Avalanche in town, Mardi Gras warm-ups out, an Army watching intently from high up top. Avs get the first goal in this one. Mikko Rantanen, that's his 200th NHL goal. Colorado up 1-0. Then the Blues are slow to cover the rush. We've seen that a few times this year. Bo Byram converts for another Avs goal. Blues would get on the board in the second. Nice move from Sammy Blais. He gets his second back in blue. But the Avs would capitalize on a down day for the note. They'd notch 2 more. They go on to win 4-1. Craig Berube didn't see the fire his team had been playing with these last few games, but the players made it clear they're not quitting on this season.
Yeah, I didn't see the same energy and fight that we've had lately.
We still got that faith, and you know, we got to play for each other. We got a lot of pride in here, and like I said, we're not going to roll over and just fade away. We got a lot of fight left in us.
2 weeks from now, it will be March, that magical month, but there's plenty of work to do before we get there. The Illini had a big test today in Bloomington against number 14, Indiana. A tough task got even harder with Terrence Shannon Jr. out today in concussion protocol. The Illini were flying high early, though. Check out this poster from Coleman Hawkins. Oof! That's pretty demoralizing. Matthew Mayer gets in on the action later. He had a team-high 24 for Illinois in this one. The Illini had a shot to tie it at the buzzer, but R.J. Melendez cannot sink the 3, and Indiana wins 71-68. Illinois has lost 3 of their last 4. For anybody worried about how a retired Albert Pujols would occupy his time, don't. Albert was hooping at the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game last night. Did you see that nice steal? He had 117 steals on the baseball diamond. Albert can score it too. Nice layup.
the Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf was the MVP of that game. Albert not have to be at spring training, trying out his hand in other sports.
Yeah, he might have another career ahead of him.
Don't put it past him.
Thank you, Corey.